All right. Ever heard someone say they like manifested something, like willed their dream job into existence?
Yeah.
We're diving into The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. This whole idea that your thoughts can really like shape your reality, you know?
Yeah.
It's a huge bestseller, so something's got to be going on there.
It's a really intriguing concept. And, the idea that your thoughts can influence reality, it's not a new one.
Right.
What The Secret does, it takes this idea, calls it the law of attraction, and kind of like packages it for a modern audience.
Okay, so like for those of us who haven't read it yet, what's the deal? What's the main idea?
So The Secret basically says your inner world, your thoughts and feelings, they're like a magnet for your outer world. It's that whole like attracts like idea.
Right, right.
So if you're seeking positive thoughts, feeling grateful, visualizing what you want,
Okay.
the book says you're more likely to actually attract those things into your life.
So like if I'm walking around thinking, I'm going to crush this presentation, I'm going to find an amazing partner, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like I'm setting the stage for it to actually happen.
That's exactly the premise.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, if it's all doom and gloom, I'm going to mess this up, I'll never find love,
Yeah.
you're more likely to attract more of that.
Oh, interesting.
It's almost like, you're placing an order with the universe, but instead of takeout, it's life experiences.
So it's not just daydreaming, it's like believing it's actually going to happen.
That's a really key point. The Secret is all about how powerful your thoughts are. It says they shape your experiences even more than things that happen to you.
Wow.
Like you're writing your own life story,
Yeah.
And even if you don't fully buy into it, it definitely makes you think about the stories you're telling yourself in your own head.
Absolutely. Okay, but how does this actually work? Like if I'm thinking positive thoughts, is it really changing something out there in the world?
Well, that's where things get a little, let's say, theoretical. Byrne talks a lot about quantum mechanics, suggesting that our thoughts actually have a vibrational frequency.
So it's like we're all energy vibrating and we attract things on a similar frequency, whether it's good experiences, opportunities, even people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, and this is important, that's more of an analogy than, hard science.
Right, right.
But it's a way to visualize how our thoughts and feelings might be playing a role.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It does.
So The Secret isn't just about these concepts, right? There's also like practical stuff you can do. Yeah.
That's right. It emphasizes practical tools like gratitude and visualization.
Okay, like what?
So instead of focusing on what you don't have, you shift your attention to what you're grateful for.
Even the little things. Right.
Exactly. And the book says that this shift, this gratitude, it can have this ripple effect, drawing in more good stuff.
Interesting. But what about the negative thoughts? You can't just like ignore them, can you?
You're right, and the book does address that. It talks about these secret shifters. They're basically little things you could do to shift your energy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's a secret shifter? Give me an example.
One that comes to mind is starting your day with a smile.
Even if you don't feel like it.
Even then, the idea is that by smiling, you're telling your brain to look for the positive, and that can influence your thoughts and actions all day.
So it's like interrupting that negative cycle and choosing to focus on something else.
Exactly. And The Secret says that even small shifts like that can make a big difference in your life, because it all comes back to this idea that your thoughts are shaping your experiences. It's full of these stories too about people using the law of attraction to do like amazing things.
Right. Like that injured athlete, remember?
Oh yeah, he completely defies the odds.
He refuses to believe in his injuries, just visualizes himself not just recovering, but like coming back even stronger.
And then boom, winning championships.
Like the power of belief actually made it happen.
Exactly. Our beliefs, they can have a huge impact on healing, even on our bodies,
It's like that whole placebo effect, right?
Exactly. People getting better just because they think they're getting a powerful treatment.
Even if it's like a sugar pill or something.
Exactly. It's wild, right?
It really is.
Shows you how connected the mind and body are, which The Secret is really into.
Of course, it's not like our thoughts can cure everything.
Right, of course not.
But it makes you wonder, how much are our beliefs, even about our health, playing a role?
It's a big question.
And then there's relationships, right?
Oh yeah, The Secret has a whole thing about that.
If you want to find a loving partner, you got to love yourself first.
Love yourself, yep. Like you're putting out those vibes and you attract back what you're putting out there.
Right.
And even psychology kind of backs that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're always down on yourself, focusing on your flaws, it changes how you act with people, how they see you.
you might end up attracting people who, like, confirm that negative image you have of yourself.
Exactly. Like that saying, you teach people how to treat you.
Makes sense.
So even without the whole, universe rearranging itself thing, there's something to be said for that self-fulfilling prophecy idea.
Right, right. But then The Secret says happiness, it's like this thing we're supposed to have. We've just lost touch with it.
Right. And we can get it back by, thinking positive thoughts.
But is it really that simple? Is happiness just a matter of changing your outlook?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And it kind of leads us to some of the problems people have with The Secret.
Okay, like what?
Well, if we're attracting everything that happens to us, the good and the bad, doesn't that mean people are, like, responsible for their own suffering?
Yeah, and that just feels wrong.
Yeah.
Like, someone's struggling financially, it's because they just haven't figured out how to think positively enough. Come on.
It definitely feels insensitive.
Oh.
And to be fair, The Secret doesn't really get into those more nuanced situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like it's way oversimplifying things. So, like, where does that leave us? Is it fair to say The Secret is more like a self-help thing, not like a magic formula?
I think that's an important distinction.
Mm-hmm.
It calls the law of attraction a universal law.
Right.
But honestly, there's not a ton of, like, scientific proof for all of it.
So we shouldn't expect, like, winning lottery numbers just by thinking about it.
Probably not, no. But even if you're not, like, fully on board with manifesting your dream life,
Yeah.
there's still something to be said for, positive thinking.
Okay, so we're not ditching the whole thing.
Right. There's this whole field, positive psychology. They've been studying thoughts and feelings, how they affect us, for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And they're finding that being more optimistic, it can actually make a difference.
So it's not magic, it's like actual science.
Yeah. Like people who practice gratitude. Studies show they feel more positive emotions in general. And that can then impact relationships, work, even your health.
Because if you're super negative, you probably miss the good stuff, right?
Exactly. And it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, If you believe good things will happen, you're more likely to see opportunities.
It's like training your brain to be more positive.
Exactly. And to be clear, it's not about ignoring negative emotions, pretending everything's perfect.
Right, right.
It's more about, like, choosing where you focus your attention, choosing thoughts that make you feel good, that help you.
That makes a lot more sense than some of the, like, extreme stuff you hear about The Secret.
Right. I think so, too.
But it's interesting, right? People want to believe they have control over their lives.
Oh, absolutely. And The Secret, even if it's flawed, it taps into that.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it's not about, like, bending the universe to our will or whatever, but it is about how powerful our beliefs are, even if it's not always in those, like, magical ways.
Exactly. And I think that's worth paying attention to, don't you?
For sure. So to wrap up our deep dive on The Secret, it's not like a guaranteed guide to, getting everything you want.
Right.
But it does make you think about how much your thoughts and beliefs really matter.
I completely agree. And maybe that's the real takeaway here.
Yeah.
We can be more aware of what's going on in our own minds, and maybe then we have more power to change our experiences.
Instead of just letting life happen to us.
Exactly.
So, deep divers, what stories are you telling yourselves?